I've had the privilege of working with Angeth for the last year and a half, and I'm her counselor here, and she is just a joy to work with, an amazing human being. If I were to use one word to describe her, it would be limitless. There's really nothing that she can't do when she puts her mind to it. She's involved in numerous activities and clubs throughout the school, and just has the heart of a servant leader.
So Angeth first came into the debate team here when we were first starting at Jefferson, and she did interpret Roosevelt and got sucked in by one of our other kids that was in debate, Biniam, and really got her involved, and she's been fantastic. She's one of our captains on our debate team. She works a lot with the first year kids or novice, and then obviously does a lot of research and argumentation work for her own self and for her team. And she's one of our top 2 debate teams. So she's just one of our leaders that the kids can go to if they need any help if I'm busy, just because we have so many students involved, and if they have questions about different things, they know, especially for those first year kids, if they have questions about the topic or about just logistics in general, they know to go to her and ask her some questions, because she'll be the one kind of that can help them out a little bit. And part of that was because we knew just that she would take on that role, that she would be able to help those kids out without feeling upset, oh, you're taking away my time. She doesn't feel that way. I mean, she really does want to help out everybody.
In speech, I do oral interpretation, program oral interpretation, and I also do dramatic interp. That's kind of like where it's 10-minute pieces that you memorize. That has kind of given me kind of the voice and platform that I was kind of developing throughout my high school career, where like going into my freshman year, I was very shy. I came from a middle school where like majority of the students went to Lincoln, so I was going to Roosevelt. I didn't really know anyone, but that again like built my voice. I was more like outgoing and everything like that, so I contribute that mainly to oral interp and also student council. And then debate, I joined kind of later in my high school career, I guess, second semester of my sophomore year. There, it kind of, along with the AP courses, it kind of developed my higher level thinking skills. Now it's really where like I see matters in like a totally different light. It's kind of not just like a black and white area, it's more of like a shade of gray where there's not always one right answer to everything, and you kind of have to look at it from a different perspective and like in the shoes of someone else. So that's kind of been transcending throughout all of my courses as well.
She is an AP student who looks for every opportunity to challenge herself academically and to prepare herself for her post-secondary plans.
She's a great student. She'll ask questions, if she's not sure about something, because the AP Econ class is pretty tough. And so, she's not afraid to be like, hey, can you explain this a little bit better? But she really does work to try and understand the material, and so really wants to not just regurgitate answers. She wants to truly understand it, and so yeah, she's a great student to have in class.
I start with AP statistics with my advisor for student council, so that's kind of fun. Then after that, I have AP Lit with McMacken. It's kind of different from AP Lang last year. It's more kind of fiction, and then like getting to write in a less like very like serious and like non-fiction factual way. Now more very like focusing on theme, thesis, stuff like that has been very interesting. My third period is with AP Macro with my debate coach, Dolly, so I can never avoid those two if I'm trying to hide away from debate or speech. But there it's kind of very much just like economics, a lot of number heavy, stuff like that. So it's very interesting, and it's kind of been relating to our topic right now with student loans, like inflation, interest rates and everything like that. So it's kind of been helpful with that class. And then fifth period, I have my peer tutoring in the academic village. I typically help those students with math during that period. And then my sixth period is AP psychology with Whiting. During that period, we've kind of been talking about like the anatomy of the eye and the anatomy of the brain, and how it helps psychologists better to understand how humans like think and how we act, and why we do the things we do. It's kind of the sciencey part of psychology, I guess. For Peer Insights, I'm in the academic village, so that's for students that have previously failed classes, so they're trying to regain those courses and credits that they need in order to graduate. In that class specifically, my role has kind of changed throughout this first semester. I kind of went from roaming around the room and helping students with math specifically during that period, but we have one new student. She is primarily a Spanish speaker. She kind of struggles a little bit with English, so I kind of help her learning Algebra 1, translating a bit, and then also just helping her learn those basics so she can move on to geometry or Algebra 2. I started kind of Peer Insights with Dr. Novak 2 years ago. I think I did Connections, where you kind of help 9th graders over the summer, and I really enjoyed that, and he's kind of been pushing me and a few of my friends to kind of go out and help different students in different demographics around the school. So it was my senior year, and I had one open period, and he was you should do Peer Insights. And then originally I was going to do debate because that's kind of a specialty of mine. I'm in the debate team, so I was why not? But he was we see a real need in academic village for peer tutoring. So then I was willing to help with that role, and then help with the math classes, English classes, anything those students need to succeed in high school.
So she's in oral and terp, and she's always placing in those competitions, debate, Black Student Union. She's the founder of the Women's Empowerment Group. She is in National Honor Society. She is works with students with special needs, and she's a reading buddy in that club. And she is on the Mayor's Youth Council. She was selected as a scholar for this summer in going to Brown and doing a summer opportunity where she got to work with other students from around the nation to come up with a community service project. And that's a very rare opportunity that she was able to participate in.
I applied for this scholarship called Joyce Ivy. It's for women of color throughout the Midwest. They select a few. I think there was hundreds of applicants, and they ended up choosing, I think 60 to attend a summer program. I ended up going with Brown pre-college program. It was specifically their Leadership Institute. That kind of piqued my interest because they had kind of that advocacy that I wanted, but also we had courses talking about law, leadership, and social movements, which was very interesting. And that kind of is a career I want to go into following high school. And paired with that, they had the leadership aspect that I wanted. Coming into student council, being a leader on my speech and debate team, I wanted to just further my leadership skills, and that institute provided me that. One interesting thing we did at the institute is creating an action plan, which I hope to kind of implement later as the basketball season goes. But I saw they increased our awareness of issues that are happening right on our doorsteps, right in our community. I guess with the news and everything, you see all the atrocities happening all over the world, but you don't really think of what's happening within your own community. And I
She has proven herself to be a very real candidate in their selection process, and is part of that.
She's one of the leaders of the school. I mean, pretty much everybody knows Angeth, and just because she's been involved in so many different things over the years, and so it's one of those where across the entire school, you can live in anonymity quite a bit in high school, but she does not. She is one of those leaders that is really setting the foundation for Jefferson, just being in our third year, but that involvement and just wanting to get more people involved, get them active, and be a part of the Jefferson community is something that I think other kids look to her and see that's kind of a big example, right? That she does set that tone.
As I mentioned, she has served in a multitude of areas, volunteering her time, her talents. She competes in debate and oral interp competitions. She's so inclusive, as I mentioned, in just being a voice for the unheard and underrepresented and for our students of special needs. And then competing, I mean, she's just a champion in everything that she sets out to do. She has numerous awards and recognition for her talents.
She's a reflection of the Compass. Everything, because she serves, like in that leadership role that I talked about, helping with other kids, but she's also competing, really striving her best and wants to do her best with not just debate, but interp as well. She's including as many people as she can. She gets involved in so many different things. And so all of those areas really, I think she's a good example of not just focusing on one part of the Compass, but all of them.
But with all of those academic accolades, one of her favorite memories is having a dance party with her reading buddy this year, which just shows her servant's heart, that servant leader heart, which to me stands out more than anything. Instead of thinking about all these academic awards and recognitions that she's received, the one that stands out to her is a dance party with her reading buddy, and that warmed my heart.
So I've been doing Best Buddies since we started coming to Jefferson, and one specific buddy that I've always had is Olivia Storley. She is literally just the funniest, charismatic girl ever. She'll randomly joke around and kind of fold her arms and cross her legs and joke around and sass us whenever I'm gone for some debate tournament and I miss a reading period. But she's definitely a character and definitely just a warm, vibrant part of my day. And one time, I think it was 2 years ago, typically we always read every day, but this one day none of the buddies were wanting to read. So our teacher during the time, Mr. Wagner, he was playing music, so then we all kind of had a dance party and we were just dancing and just having fun, and then just seeing Olivia's face just light up with so much joy and everything like that, and just seeing the buddies just dance and just have such a good time. It was just so joyous. I remember coming back to, I think it was Algebra 2 after that, and just not being able to focus because I just had that image of Olivia just gleaming with joy. Was just it was just unmatched, unbeat for any memory that I could have here. I come from parents of South Sudanese immigrants, so kind of seeing their struggle coming as refugees from South Sudan to, going through assimilation, not knowing the language and everything like that. Seeing their struggle kind of pushed me to, advocate for those similar to them where they don't have the resources, they don't have the voice to speak up for themselves. So creating clubs or being a part of clubs such as women empowerment or Best Buddies is very important to me. Creating a voices for those that do not have it in our community, and acting as an advocate or a leader for those has been, I kind of see them as my parents or those in the position of my parents, and I want to help them and make their situation better because my parents have done so much for me and have brought me to where I am today and are continuing to help me and support me throughout whatever endeavors I have throughout my life. So I just want to kind of give back to those people in a way.
Whatever she wants to do. Really, she's got just the talent and the work ethic that really whatever she kind of wants to do. I unfortunately don't think it's going to be here in South Dakota. I think she's going to move on to bigger things. I'd love for her to stick around here though. I'd take her, but I think something in law or something in public policy would definitely be right up her alley. But just serving in some capacity, I think, is definitely what she's planning on doing.
I know I want to major in political science and minor in psychology. I hope to, go to law school, practice law for a little bit, but eventually go into advocacy, whether it be politics or anything like that. Just really advocating for different minority groups would be kind of my dream goal.
Anything she wants. You know, she's looking at law, possibly even a government position. I mean, the sky is the limit with her, and I have no doubt that she'll achieve it.